Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and today is just going to be kind of like a check-in video. I told you guys in a recent video that I'm just lacking motivation big time lately, and it's really shown in my videos. I'm just lacking the motivation. I don't have a good time to do things. Like, for instance, I want to film a baby update. It's been months and months since I filmed a Stella update, and I just haven't done it, and part of it is me not finding the right time to do it, and hopefully that's going to be my video right after this. So I'm gonna have 2 videos hopefully filmed today. Decided yesterday, I'm like, I am going to film a video today. It's going to be my only goal on the list to finally just film a baby update, catch people up to speed. She's almost 10 months old, and I don't think I've done an update since 5 months. It's just been right when we moved into this house and the world shut down and all heck broke loose. Everybody's home, so it's hard for me to get filming. And I think even her 5-month update, I was gung-ho and filmed it, and you could see the glass there, hence the new angle. But Olivia was walking around in the back of my video, like half of the video, so it was really not well done, and I wasn't about to film it again. So I just changed the angle, so hopefully this works okay. I'm looking at it. It looks okay to me. And I have to be really careful where I set the camera so I don't show those glass doors, because the bathroom is right across those doors. So she goes in and out of that, and she was just standing at the door, and it just made it so I could not film. So hopefully I can start filming a little bit more. Naps were inconsistent for a long time, and we're getting at least 1 decent nap a day, sometimes 2 decent naps a day. Back to my original thought. Yesterday, I had it in my head, I'm like, I am going to film this baby update today. I was like gung-ho, and I told Johnny the day before, like, tomorrow I'm going to film a video and just sit down in front of the camera and get it done. He was all on board, and then the day was just a crap day. It just did not happen. She usually takes 2 naps, and it's been like weeks and weeks. She's been taking really good 2 naps. And then yesterday she only took 1. The first nap hit early enough, and Johnny had felt bad the night before, didn't sleep well, so he slept in a little bit, and her nap was early enough that it overlapped with that. And so I couldn't get access to our bathroom without waking him up, and I didn't want to wake him up because he wasn't feeling the greatest. So thankfully he's okay now, but he just needed that extra sleep because he had a really rough sleep night. So I couldn't put on my makeup. I couldn't get decent clothes on. I was just in my pajamas, unmakeuped for that first nap when I could have filmed, and I just didn't want to wake him up. So then her second nap was non-existent. She just cried in her crib, and I eventually just got her up because she wasn't going to take a nap. She got to that point. It wasn't just like a little bit of a whine, it was a full-blown cry meltdown. And so we didn't have a second nap, and that was my chance to film. And so I lost it, and I was so beating myself up over it because I'm like, gosh, I can't just do one thing. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I did a lot of stuff yesterday. I cooked meals for my family all day long. I cleaned quite a few things. I cleaned toilets and bathrooms and put away some laundry that needed to be put away, deep cleaned parts of the kitchen. I dusted certain areas. Like, I did a lot of stuff yesterday, and I just was beating myself up right before going to bed. And I was like, man, I suck at life right now. Everything's just so much harder with everyone home and the weight of all of this stuff going on. And I was like, this is a video topic, because I really talked myself out of the shame spiral, guilt spiral I was in, just by looking at, okay, what did I do today? Bare minimum, my kids are happy and healthy and well fed, and so if I did nothing else, that was accomplished. And then I did other stuff on top of that. I also played with them, made them laugh. I mean, these are things that are important, and it's really hard to focus on that, and I'm really trying to not get down by everything going on. And the second topic of this video is school, which is really stressing me out. But I'm just struggling right now, and I think a lot of people are. And it's hard when, you know, you have to put on a happy face for the kids, and it's hard when you don't feel it. And that's part of what I'm in right now. It's like, I'm stressed out about the school, stressed out about life, about safety, things that I never thought, and everybody never thought we would have to deal with, we're dealing with. And it's kind of scary, and there are no real good safety nets in our country if things go horribly wrong, and that's scary. So it's a lot to mentally and emotionally wrestle with, and I know I'm not the only one, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this video. And I also wanted to give you guys a school update. The main point of my first part of this video is it's totally okay not to be okay, and I think a lot of us are struggling with that. I had a baby 10 months ago, so I'm still nursing. My hormones are still really crazy, so I think part of that has to do with the hormones. but this is stressful for anybody on a regular everyday basis. And it's not just because I'm super hormonal. A delivery truck just went by. I'm in the front of the house, so I hear and see everything going by. I feel like when she was first born, up to like 4, almost 5 months when we bought the house, things were great. My mood was great, my energy was great, and I had a baby. I was in the newborn stage, and all through that, I think I rocked it. Since everything hit, I've not been in the same happy place, and it's been hard. And I was like, I go and I read the postpartum depression information, the symptoms and signs, and I was like, I'm not there. I'm not that bad, that deep down into it, but I'm definitely like borderline on the mood spectrum. So I'm really trying to just give myself grace instead of beating myself up. Like yesterday, I'm like, gosh, you're so lazy. You can't even film one video. Gosh, this is terrible. You're doing a terrible job, and like get into this spiral. I really stepped back and I was like, okay, would you tell somebody else this? Like if they could do one thing during the day, but they have 2 little kids at home, would you say that to them? And I would never talk to anybody the way I talk to myself. And so I really had to take that step back and think about it, think about all the things I did accomplish. And even if I didn't do anything except my kids are fed and alive, it's okay. And you're gonna have bad days. I have to really talk myself through those bad days. And it's not bad, like scary postpartum depression, harming situation. Definitely not anywhere close to that. I just think my mood is definitely turned down a notch. Like everything that was happy-go-lucky and I was smiley and everything was great has been turned down, and everything now is just okay. And there are some happy things still, but there's a lot more what I consider like bad days where I don't get a lot of stuff done, and I sit on the couch more than I normally would sit on the couch, and I'm still functional, like I'm still cooking, I'm still sort of cleaning. Like the cleaning's kind of been a struggle for me, but I've just lacked that motivation, that pep in my step that I used to have even through 5 months before purchasing the house. It hit the same time. We bought the house and moved in the same time Austin shut down, and it hasn't been the same since. Johnny started working from home the same time, so it's like really everything changed for us except like the people involved, but how much we interact, how much we see each other. The house is different, the neighborhood is different, the friends are different. It's all completely like turned upside down. So I'm still kind of adjusting from that giant thing on top of everything happening, working from home, and adjusting to it being a longer term thing. So Johnny works in tech, and a lot of the tech companies are just saying people are just gonna work 100% from home permanently. Like even when the pandemic stuff is over, a lot of people in tech are gonna stay at home. And so like, I never thought I was gonna have a work-at-home husband, and I might have a work-at-home husband permanently. And I just don't know. It's still so up in the air, but a lot of companies are saying a lot of their jobs are going 100% remote, and I don't know if his job falls into that. It could be. He's doing great, aside from like the kid noise. He's doing great working from home, but it's a completely different lifestyle. It changes our entire routine, and it throws me for a loop. I like routines, I like schedules, and like him just taking a break from his office whenever he needs a break, he comes out and it kind of disrupts the flow. And I'm happy that he can do that. I'm happy that he's here, and it's been really great. Like we can take a walk in the middle of the day. We can eat lunch together some days. It depends on what he's got going on. It seems like some lunches he works through, so we don't really get to do a whole lunch together, but maybe like talk a little bit. But it's great. He can really work around what's going on with the kids. Like some days Stella is a bear and Livy needs more attention, and so he takes an hour and spends time with us, and it's phenomenal. That could not happen otherwise. If he wasn't home, it would be, you know, straight morning to evening, and he'd only see the kids in the evening a little bit. And that part of it, with the commute in Austin, that part of it's really hard. We moved to be closer to his work, so his commute wasn't so bad, but now we might not have a commute at all. So it's just really interesting. The dynamics have changed a little bit, and it's hard to get separation from each other when you stay home 24/7. So it's just the same things a lot of people are grappling with. I'm really thankful that he does have a job that he can work from home. I'm just not a go with the flow type person, so I'm trying to roll with it. I'm trying to be more go with the flow and not be really type A about everything, but it's a tricky spot for me. So anyway, let's go ahead and switch gears. Let's talk about the schooling. With Johnny working from home and the state of Austin state of Texas in general, we're one of the worst states right now. She's staying home. And I thought at first, when all the school stuff is coming out, it's really confusing and there's lots, like it changes every day as far as our schools. I'll get an email saying one thing, 2 days later I'll get an email, it'll be completely different. So I still don't know anything about her schooling, but at first I was getting really anxious about it before the numbers started getting so crazy. I was like, do I send her back? Do I not? It's a conflict. And I was worried that the school would not have distance learning based on all the stuff, really pushing to open schools 100%, get everybody in person. And I was thinking if the school goes back as 100% in person and they don't offer a distance learning, I would have to pull her and homeschool her because she's just not going back. She's in kindergarten. They don't wash their hands the best. They don't keep their distance the best. There's just no way humanly possible that she's going to sit and wear a mask all day. It's just not going to happen. She's 5 and she's going to play with it and mess with it. And I've seen her wear the mask. It's just not pretty. In kindergarten, they're all going to be like that. So I just feel so bad for the teachers. I feel so bad for the parents who really need their kids in school because they do both work. And I know that we're so incredibly blessed that I can be home and I can help her with the distance learning. Older kids will be more self-reliable, so it won't be that big a deal having them home aside from the social aspects because they can really like do the iPad or the computer themselves. With her, I'm gonna have to be right there with her a lot of the time, helping her navigate stuff. And that part's gonna be hard. And that part's been weighing on me. And I've lost a lot of sleep over the school thing. And thankfully the schools are offering options for 100% in person or 100% online, and we're doing the 100% online. But again, the information changes day by day. So like, I don't know who her teacher's gonna be. I don't know when their in-person's actually gonna start because they've already pushed back in all the districts around here. Like each pocket of Austin has a different school district, which makes it really interesting, but also really confusing. So every school right now is basically like pushed back a month or even longer than that. Some schools aren't even starting the school year until September. Some school systems are doing online only for everybody for the first like month to 6 weeks and maybe even beyond. And then some schools are doing not even starting school until September. So it really is all up in the air. I think one of the districts right now is still voting on whether they're even coming back in August or they're gonna push it back further to September. So it's really up in the air. It's really confusing. I have her registered. I did click the box that says 100% at home. And I don't have her teacher information. I don't know what her day is going to look like. I just barely know what programs they're going to be implementing, like Blackboard and that kind of online school teaching programs. I got the names of those and that's all they said. So I had to look it up myself based on the names of the programs to see what we're even going to be dealing with. Over time, I feel like she could navigate, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of work on my end. And it's going to be a lot of work on her end learning this because she can use an iPad, she can read. It's going to be a whole learning thing. And it's going to be some of the stuff she's not going to be able to do all on her own. So I am going to have to be sitting there with her. And thankfully, they did say as part of the attendance, you don't have to be on the Zoom meetings or whatever it is. Like as they're going, you can watch them later. They're recording everything so she can really do things on her own schedule, which is going to be so helpful since I do have Stella and naps can be all over the place. I don't know that we're going to be joining anything live because it's going to be Stella screaming and Libby not paying attention and swiveling her chair and all the things that I just think this whole entire thing is just a giant show. And it's just, I don't know, it's a lot. And so I've lost sleep. Like, I don't even know what their Zoom online schedule is going to be. I don't know what to expect. I'm just really trying to roll with it, accept things as they come, just read all the information as it comes, even though one day it'll be one thing, the next day it'll be completely different. I just know that I want her home. If he's going to be home and we've got a baby at home, I just want her home. That was just my main thing. We can figure it out. And if it doesn't work, I'm worried about a couple things. I'm worried, one, that it's just going to be a show. Like I said, it's going to be disorganized. Nobody knows what's going on. And it's just going to be like a big, giant, honking waste of time trying to figure out the system and see how little the system actually works. And I'm trying to be optimistic, but that's kind of what I think. Like, if I'm going to be honest, I think it's going to be horrible, even the online stuff. But also, she is so far ahead. I just think it's going to be boring for her, especially this way, especially online. So I don't know if we're going to make it the whole year doing this distance learning. All of the areas around here have said you can switch options every so often. Some say by semester, some say by grading period, which is 9 weeks. And they say you can switch back and forth between which option works best for you at the time. You'll like get a chance to switch, but they switch teachers. So it's not going to be the same. And I don't want that discontinuity in her life. I want her to have the same teacher. So I think we're committing to, as long as we can, doing one option. But if the teachers get sick and her teacher keeps swapping, or they use different teachers, if it's really just too much change all the time and not really consistent, then I will pull her and homeschool her again. So like that's my back pocket option always. Like if this is terrible, if it's not working for us, I'm gonna pull her and homeschool her. If the stuff's too boring and she's way far ahead of where they are and it's boring for her and she's not really learning, I'm gonna pull her. It's just like that's my option, and really leaning more towards that. More trucks are going by. That's my like abort mission option. I have the button. If I need to, I'll just pull her out and we'll homeschool. In Texas, you do not have to be licensed to homeschool your kid. You just have to fill out a form. I'm not the most advanced. I'm not a certified teacher, but I can teach my kid kindergarten stuff and we can make it through because she's already well ahead of where she needs to be. Like the math book workbook we're doing, and she's rocking, is a 1st and 2nd grade math book. So she can totally rock kindergarten. I'm not super concerned about that. I'm not concerned that me teaching her is going to put her far behind at this age, especially. What I am concerned about is the social aspect. Right now, everybody in our street plays together. It's a mixed age, mixed gender group, and it's a really fun thing that she can do because everybody's home. Nobody's going back to work hardly at all. Everybody's home from school, and that's going to drastically change when in-person school happens. And I don't want her hanging out with anybody who's doing in-person school. So I think we're going to have to isolate a little bit because I'm pretty sure, I just get the feeling that quite a few people will probably send their kids back. It's going to be harder because we're not going to be able to play with the same people we're playing with, who everybody's really isolated right now. So it's not a big deal that they're playing together, but we're going to have to get more serious about it. And I dread that. I dread that conversation to have with a 5-year-old. Like, you can't play with Bobby because Bobby goes to school and he might bring a deadly disease to us or something like that. I won't say it like that, but that's like what's going through my mind. Is I see this coming, that we're going to have this moment of, oh, it's just going to be you play with mommy and daddy and sister for a while until everything levels out. Hopefully the numbers can go down, just lots and lots of things. So I anticipate it being a struggle, like actually isolating her, because we had a really good little pod group, and it's going to change as soon as in-person school starts back. I know I'm not the only parent who's pretty devastated over having to make this choice. There's no good choice in this situation, and as a parent, you want to make the best choice for your kids that you can, and that best choice got taken. Like the choice got taken from us. We just have a bunch of crap options to choose from, and we just have to pick the least crappy option that works for our family, and it just sucks. Like the whole thing sucks. And Olivia wanted to ride the school bus and now she won't be able to, and it's just things like that. Like I planned on going in with her and picking out her school supplies and her picking her backpack and getting really excited, taking a school picture in the front of the school for her first day of school, and all of these things are taken from us. And I keep reminding myself there's always 1st grade. If worst comes to worst, there's always 2nd grade, things like that. Like, it's not the end of the world. We're gonna make it through. Everybody can do this. We can rally together and eradicate this, or at least make it manageable. And so I try not to have the pity party, because I know everybody is going through the same stuff, especially in these big hotspot cities like we are in. It's just tough and it just sucks. And that's why I haven't been making a whole lot of videos, because they're home. I don't have the motivation. I don't really know what to do a video on, because I feel like on the one hand, like all the videos that I could film that are like happy-go-lucky stuff just don't feel right and appropriate right now, but I also don't want to be a Debbie Downer like all the time. So I really try to limit what I'm even putting up right now, and I just don't have the motivation. I'm totally in like mama bear survival mode, trying to get into school mode, trying to figure out what we're even doing. What are we even doing with our life? Trying to work around things like that. So anyway, that's this whole rambly video. I would love to hear what you guys are doing for school, what your options are in your area. I know some people have the option of going in person, and it's not as big of a risk as it is in these big giant hotspot places like here. And I've just been seeing some of the school reports coming out where like first day and second day of school, they're already shutting down the school because there's so many cases of it and people test positive, and then I don't know if the whole classroom has to quarantine. I don't know if the whole school has to quarantine. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't see it working at all. I just have a very pessimistic outlook for this. I just don't know how it can work. I'm hoping that you guys can stay safe, and if you can work remotely, I'm hoping that that's going okay for you. I know nothing is ideal right now, and I just hope you all stay safe and healthy, and I think that's it. So let me know down below what your plans are for schooling, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.